John Calvin on Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. The Lord is my shepherd. This psalm is neither intermingled with prayers, nor does it complain of miseries for the purpose of obtaining relief, but it contains a simple thanksgiving, from which it appears that it was composed when David had obtained peaceable possession of the kingdom and lived in prosperity and in the enjoyment of all he could desire. Although God, by his benefits, gently allures us to himself, as it were by a taste of his fatherly sweetness, yet there is nothing into which we more easily fall than into forgetfulness of him, when we are in the enjoyment of peace and comfort. Yea, prosperity not only so intoxicates many as to carry them beyond all bounds of their mirth, but it also engenders insolence, which makes them proudly rise up and break forth against God. Accordingly, there is scarcely 100th part of those who enjoy an abundance of good things of God, who keep themselves in his fear, and live in the exercise of humility and temperance, which would be so becoming. For this reason, we ought the more carefully to mark the example which is here set before us by David, who, elevated to the dignity of sovereign power, surrounded with the splendor of riches and honors, possessed of the greatest abundance of temporal good things, and in the midst of princely pleasures, not only testifies that he is mindful of God, but calling to remembrance the benefits which God had conferred upon him, makes them ladders by which he may ascend nearer to him. By this means he not only bridles the wantonness of his flesh, but also excites himself with a greater earnestness of gratitude and the other exercises of godliness, as appears from the concluding sentence of the psalm, where he says, quote, I shall dwell in the house of Jehovah for a length of days. Unquote. In like manner, in the 18th psalm, which was composed at a period in his life which he was applauded on every side, by calling himself the servant of God, he showed the humility and simplicity of heart to which he had attained, and at the same time openly testified his gratitude by applying himself to the celebration of the praises of God.